Hello, English learners. Welcome back to Talk Ema. I'm Emma. Today we will learn prepositions in a very simple way so you can use them correctly in daily English.
Hi, Emma. Hi, everyone. I'm Jack. I always get confused with words like in, on, and at, so I'm really happy we are learning this topic today.
You're not alone, Jack. Many learners struggle with prepositions because these small words can completely change the meaning of a sentence in English.
Yes, even I get confused when I try to translate from my own language. I often choose the wrong word without realizing it.
That's very common. Today we will fix that step by step so you can feel more confident using prepositions in real conversations.
Great. I really want to understand this clearly because I use these words every day, but I am never fully sure if I am correct.
Before we start, think of prepositions as relationship words. They show how things are connected in place, time, or direction in a sentence.
So they don't stand alone. They show the relationship between two things, like where something is or when something happens.
Exactly. For example, the cat is on the table. The word on shows the relationships between the cat and the table.
That actually makes sense. But I still get confused because my language uses these words in a different way.
That's the main problem. Learners try to translate directly, but English uses prepositions differently, so we need to learn patterns instead of translation.
Okay, I understand. So let's start with the most important ones first, like in, on, and at.
Perfect choice. These three are the most common and are used for both time and place in everyday English.
Let's start with time, because that is where I make the most mistakes in real conversations.
Good idea. In is used for long periods of time like months, years, seasons, and parts of the day.
So I say in January, in 2020, in the morning, and in summer. Those are all big time periods.
Exactly. On is for specific days and dates, like on Monday, on my birthday, or on December 25th.
So on is more specific than in because it points to a particular day or exact date.
Right. And at for very exact time, like clock times or specific moments such as at 7 o'clock or at midnight.
So it goes from big to small, in for big time, on for days, and at for exact time. That is very clear now.
Yes, that simple pattern helps you remember everything easily and use prepositions more naturally in real English conversations.
Yes, Jack. Once you see the pattern, it becomes clear. In is for big places like countries or rooms, on is for surfaces, and at is for exact locations.
So I say in Thailand, in the kitchen, on the table, on the street, and at the airport. Now I can finally see the difference clearly.
Exactly. In means inside a larger space. On means touching a surface, and at means one specific point you can show on a map or location.
That helps a lot. But I still get confused with at home and in the house. Are they really different or just the same meaning?
Good question. At home feels general and natural, like your personal space. In the house is more physical, meaning inside the building itself.
So I'm at home feels relaxed and natural, but I'm in the house sounds more literal and focused on the building.
Exactly. Now let me tell you a story. Many learners learn in, on, and at, but later they get confused when they meet other prepositions.
Yes, words like by, for, with, and about are everywhere in English, and I sometimes mix them up in real sentences.
Let me tell you about a student named Tom. He wrote to his boss, "I will finish the report until Friday," and it caused confusion.
Oh no! So what is the problem with until Friday? It sounds correct to me, but I think there is a hidden mistake.
Yes, Until Friday means the action continues up to Friday. But Tom meant a deadline, so he should say by Friday instead.
So by Friday means the work is finished before or at Friday, like a clear deadline, not continuing until that time.
Exactly. One small word changed the meaning completely, and the boss thought Tom would work the whole week.
Wow. I can imagine the confusion. That shows how important small prepositions are in real professional communication.
Now let's talk about for. We use it to show duration, like how long something lasts or continues.
So I say I studied for 2 hours, or she lived in London for 5 years. It tells the length of time.
Perfect. But many learners make mistakes like saying, I am here since 2 hours, which is not correct English.
I have definitely said that before. So the correct form is, I have been here for 2 hours, right?
Yes, use for with a period of time, and use since with a starting point like since Monday or since 3 p.m.
So for 2 hours is duration, and since 3 p.m. is the starting point. That difference is now very clear to me.
Great. Now, with shows connection or company, like doing something together or using a tool or ingredient.
So I can say, I came with my friend, or she made soup with vegetables. It means together or using something.
Exactly. Even he cut the paper with scissors shows the tool used. With is a very flexible and useful preposition.
That makes sense. Now, what about about? I often see it in conversations and books, but I want to understand it better.
About is used for topics or subjects, like we talked about the project, or she is worried about the exam.
So, about always shows what the conversation or feeling is connected to. It is the topic or focus of the sentence.
Exactly, Jack. And now we will look at some very common mistakes learners make with prepositions in real English usage.
Yes, Jack. Let's talk about common mistakes. Many learners say, I am bored of this, but traditionally, we say, I am bored with this in formal English.
So both are used in real life, but bored with is more correct for formal writing. And language can slowly change over time.
Exactly. Now, another mistake is saying, I will explain you the answer. In English, we don't use that structure.
Oh, I think I have said that before. So what is correct? I feel like my sentence was direct, but maybe wrong.
We say, I will explain the answer to you. You explain a thing, and then you explain it to a person using to.
So the rule is, explain something plus to someone. That makes it much clearer and more natural in English.
Yes. Another very common mistake is married with. Many learners say, she is married with a doctor, but that is incorrect.
I have heard that before too. So we should say, married to a doctor, not married with a doctor.
Exactly. It is always married to in English, even if other languages use a different structure.
Okay, I will remember that. It feels strange, but I understand it is just how English works.
Great. Now let's quickly review everything we learned so it becomes clear and connected in your mind.
Yes, a full recap will help me organize all these prepositions in a simple way.
In is for big time and inside spaces, on is for days and surfaces, and at is for exact times and specific places.
So in January, on Monday, and at 7 o'clock, that pattern is now very clear.
By is for deadlines, for is for duration, and since is for starting points in time.
So by Friday means deadline, for 2 hours means duration, and since morning means starting point.
With shows company or tools, and about is used for topics or subjects in conversation.
Like talk about the movie or cut with scissors. These now feel much easier to remember.
Exactly. But the most important thing is not memorizing rules, but noticing them in real English conversations and practice.
So when I read, watch, or listen to English, I should pay attention to how prepositions are used naturally.
Yes, that builds language intuition. You start to feel what sounds right instead of translating every sentence.
That actually makes me feel relieved. I always thought I needed to memorize everything perfectly.
It takes time, but with practice, it becomes natural. You stop overthinking and start speaking more smoothly.
Thanks, Emma. That really helps me feel more confident about learning English step by step.
Now let's finish with some useful vocabulary from today's lesson that you can use in real conversations.
Yes, these phrases are very helpful because we can use them immediately in daily speaking.
First, in the long run means thinking about a long period of time and the final result, not just now.
For example, in the long run, daily practice will improve your English skills a lot.
Second, on time means being punctual, neither late nor early, exactly at the expected time.
Like, she always arrives on time for her classes, which shows good discipline and timing.
Now let's learn more useful phrases. At first means in the beginning before something changed. At first, I also found prepositions very confusing.
That's so true. At first, I didn't understand it either, but now it feels much clearer after practicing step by step.
Next, by accident means something happened without planning or intention. It was not something you meant to do.
Like calling the wrong person by accident. I once called my teacher instead of my friend, and it felt very awkward.
Exactly. Now, for good means permanently, forever, and not returning. It shows a final decision or long-term change.
So if someone moves to another country for good, it means they are not coming back to live in their old place again.
Yes, Jack. These small phrases are very common in daily English, and they all help you understand real conversations better.
I feel like prepositions are not as scary anymore. They just need practice, not memorizing too many difficult rules at once.
Exactly. The key idea is simple. Don't try to learn everything in one day. Focus on small steps and build your understanding slowly.
So maybe I should learn just one preposition a day and notice how it is used in reading, listening, and conversations.
Perfect idea. That way, your brain naturally learns patterns instead of forcing memory, and English starts to feel easier over time.
That really helps. I always thought I needed to memorize everything, but now I see practice is more important than pressure.
Yes, prepositions are everywhere in English. Even in this conversation, we have used many without even thinking about them.
That's true. I didn't notice before, but they are in almost every sentence we speak in daily communication.
Now let's ask our listeners a question. Which preposition do you find the most confusing in English?
It could be in, on, at, by, for, or anything else. Share your answer in the comments so we can learn together.
And if you have made funny mistakes with prepositions before, feel free to share them. Mistakes are a big part of learning.
Yes, we actually learn better from mistakes, so don't feel shy. Every mistake helps you improve your English.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe so you don't miss our daily English lessons and practice sessions.
We are here every day with simple lessons to help you speak English more confidently and naturally, step by step.
Remember, learning English is not about perfection. It is about showing up, practicing, and improving a little every day.
Thank you for being with us today. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. We'll see you again tomorrow.